Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the NBA slate for Tuesday. We have 4 games today, starting at 7 o'clock. All the games will be over by 10:30, so it should be a pretty early night for anybody in the East Coast like myself. Let's go ahead and get into it. As always, if you enjoy the videos, appreciate it for the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out all the other socials in the description here. Prize Picks. You can use my code PROCESS for deposit match up to $100. You can check out Twitter for updates. And all the other stuff is down there. Let's go ahead and get into it. We already have the big piece of news that we were waiting on, I guess. Ja Morant, we got that news that he's out. I don't know if he was questionable heading into the slate. I don't think so, but he's doubtful to play, so that's going to open up the door for a lot of these Grizzlies to become great value picks. We also will probably get the return of CJ McCollum. He's listed as questionable, but I'm expecting him to play as long as he clears protocols. It's not like he's banged up or anything like that. So starting at point guard, most expensive guy is Kyrie Irving, is 10-2. He sat last game just because he can't play yet in New York. So you can maybe play him against Orlando, but I think there's some better spots here, or they should be able to roll Orlando with Kyrie and Kevin Durant in there. I like Devin Booker a lot. He continues to play well without Chris Paul, ball handling wise. 10 assists for him last game, taking a lot of shots, playing big minutes. Only played 32 in a blowout. He probably would have dropped 70 had the game been close. Like McCollum as well at 94, but I might lean to I think Devin Booker. If you just had to pick one, I'd probably lean Devin Booker over McCollum. But they're both solid options here. Brogdon, hopefully he plays. If he doesn't, then Halliburton looks better. If Brogdon is in, then I wouldn't play Halliburton at 93. I'd rather get up to Booker or McCollum. Campaign is a bit too expensive now at 77. Hero, 76. He's expensive with Butler back. And then these other guys on the Pelicans, like Graham is priced up. All the other role players, Herb Jones, Marshall, even I guess you can say Valanciunas are all priced up. But if McCollum is back, then that's going to take away a lot of the usage for those guys, and it makes them a lot worse plays. $4,900 Jalen Suggs is questionable. If he misses, then Fultz looks good at 42. He's been hitting value and exceeding value, even playing 18 and 19 minutes. He's not going to probably get up to a lot of minutes yet, but he can still be productive, especially if they're without Jalen Suggs. But the first guy you got to plug in is Tyus Jones. He's going to start in place of Ja Morant. He's their backup point guard, and he's probably the best backup point guard in the league. Really just efficient player. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's good with the assists, especially when he's playing like 30-plus minutes. He can score the ball a bit as well, and the matchup is excellent. This should be a high-scoring game against one of the worst defensive teams in the league. Over at shooting guard, Kyrie is 10-2. I like Devin Booker, like I mentioned, at 96. He's probably my favorite expensive guy here. You have the Pistons heading into Miami. It looks to be one of that is definitely the least appealing team on this slate. So I'm not going to look to get to too many of them. Maybe you can make a case for Bagley just because he's sub 6K still. But I love Dylan Brooks here at $4,900. D'Anthony Melton's going to also benefit with some extra minutes here. And Hampton, if he starts, he could be a beneficial play. If they are without Brogdon and without Lance Stevenson, then Washington will be a good play. But I'm going to go ahead and put in $4,900 Dylan Brooks. Even though he just played, it was pretty nice to see that he got 26 minutes after missing over 2 months. So even if he approaches 30 today, you wouldn't be surprised. And all the usage he's going to want to take without Ja Morant. He's going to want to make it the Dylan Brooks show as usual, and he can definitely do that against Indiana today. So you don't even need him to play 30-plus minutes. At this price tag, 20 to 25 will be good enough without Ja Morant. Small forward KD coming off of a monster game against the Knicks, dropping 78. Super efficient shooting-wise, 53 real-life points. Excellent game from Kevin Durant. You have Butler. He's 86. He should be able to have success here against Pistons, but I don't know. There's a good chance the game isn't super close. So when I get a ton of minutes from Butler in the fourth. And then Marshall is too expensive now at 56, especially if McCollum is back. Value-wise, you have Kyle Anderson, looks like a decent option at 42, but not one that I'm going to go crazy with. And I think you could play Dylan Brooks here and then look at some better options at shooting guard if we have some better plays there, which we do. A power forward, once again, you can play Kevin Durant. Wendell Carter continues to play good for the Magic. Just a double-double machine, plays big minutes. A lot to like with him, even though he's over 74. But I'm going to go ahead and put in another guy from the Grizzlies. Start off with 3 Grizzlies that I really like. Jaren Jackson, 65, another guy that will benefit with extra usage. without John Morant. He's still risky with the fouls, but going up against an Indiana team that will turn the ball over, he can get you some steals. They will have guys that like to drive, and so he can get some blocks as well. So another good spot for Jaren Jackson. The price tag is super appealing. Other picks would be Bagley at 59. You could make a case for a Grant as well at 64. And then value-wise, you're looking at like Kyle Anderson at 42. And that's basically it. They did start Terry Taylor, but I don't think that'll happen again if that won't happen again if Brogdon is back or Stevenson is back or even Duarte's back. Over at center, Valanciunas 86 is your most expensive guy. He looks fine here, but if you wanted to go in the mid-range, you have three guys that look appealing: Bagley, Steven Adams, Drummond. Drummond looks good just because the matchup is excellent against Orlando, a team that plays big. They're probably going to want to have Drummond out there without Aldridge, who's already been ruled out for this contest. So I think Drummond is safe for at least like close to 25 minutes here. You can get more than that depending on how he's playing. Claxton as a backup makes interesting case for tournaments, but I'm going to stick with Drummond. Moving on to the guard position. Look to pay up for a guy. It'll be Devin Booker for me at $9,600. He continues to just dominate the usage without Chris Paul, as you would expect. There's still no Cam Johnson, so that rotation isn't still a pretty tight rotation there. Once Cam Johnson is back, that'll open up the door for for Booker to get a little bit less shots just because Cam Johnson has been playing awesome this year. But I like Devin Booker at 96, a lot to like with the way that he's been playing. And then the last guy I'm going to plug in here is going to be a utility spot. I mentioned going with one of Booker or McCollum if you could, but I think I want to try to get to both of them. I'm expecting McCollum to play. He's 94, but he gives you 60-point upside. There's not too many other superstars on the slate besides like Kevin Durant that you think you need to try to get to. And McCollum has shown the ability to drop over 50, get you close to 60, without Brandon Ingram in these recent games that he has played. So we'll go ahead and put him in. It should be a pretty close game against the Suns, I'd say. I think if McCollum is there, they'll be able to hang in there. So that's it for DraftKings. Let's go over to FanDuel. All right, on FanDuel, got a lot of good plays here at point guard. First guy that sticks out is probably Halliburton at 88 if there is no Brogdon. He looks awesome. Campaign at 7K looks okay, but I like the price tags on Cole Anthony a bunch at 58. Fultz is a bit too expensive. I'd rather get to Cole Anthony just because you're probably going to get 10 to 15 more minutes from Cole Anthony. But you're going to got to start with Tyus Jones on both sides. At shooting guard, Booker has 10-4. He looks good, but if I decide to pick one shooting guard, it would be CJ McCollum. Assuming he's in at $8,500, the price tag is super cheap. Other options could potentially be Desmond Bane at 66, Cole Anthony. You're going to get Dylan Brooks here at 5,000. Even Melton, it looks okay off the bench, but behind Bane and behind Dylan Brooks and behind Tyus Jones. And then Washington, depending on the news we get from Indiana. Small forward, like Kevin Durant, I think you can make a case to get up to him today. There's not too many other superstars, not like you're paying up for a center today, so pay up for Kevin Durant. He's the only guy that, I guess there's other guys on the slate, but he's the one that has the most likely chance of going for 60 or 70. Booker does make that case as well. Other options, maybe I'll plug in Kevin Durant at power forward because I wanted to get to $5,000 Dylan Brooks here. Just should, even if it plays like 25 to 28 minutes, should be able to easily hit value with how much usage he likes to take, especially without John Morant. A power forward, like Kevin Durant a lot, he's 11-2. Other options would be Jaren Jackson at 64. You can definitely go to Wendell Carter as well at $6,800. And then you even have a couple of guys at the bottom here. Bagley looks okay, but I don't know if he'll be starting now that Stewart is back. I just forgot that Stewart is off the injury report. But go ahead and put in Kevin Durant. It's still easy with a bunch of money left over. And then at center, I'm not going to look to $9,200 Bam. Valanciunas looks fine, but I think I'll go back to Drummond at 55. Just a nice price tag for a guy that is good point per minute wise, even if he gets you 25 to 28 minutes. Can have success given how big Orlando likes to play, and they should have a center out there at all times. So that's about it for the video. Thank you for watching. Best of luck today, and I will see you all next time.